Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So today I wanted to make a video updating tactics and talking through a couple of things gameplay related. I know a lot of people ask in the chat about tactics, about formations, things like that. And we have been very successful in FIFA in the last couple of weeks. We've been killing it. This weekend, not so much. We've had some really tough matchmaking. I just haven't been playing well. I'm 8-3. I lost 2 games in a row yesterday. But I have a couple formations that I want to talk to you guys about because people have been asking. So if you enjoy the video, drop a thumbs up. And we'll also be talking a little bit about kind of players that are good for the formation and tactics that you can adjust with. So if you look at my team is very good. I don't think it's like a God squad, but I think it is very good. I think it's above average. I've got players like Vieira. I've got Prime Dino. I've got Jairzinho is just insane. Butragueño. But I think my back line is not as crazy as some teams, right? I'm still using Alaba, 728 games for him. I absolutely love him. I think his lateral, side-to-side movement is just amazing in game. I still use Gold Militao from time to time. Ferland Mendy with almost 400 matches, and then my favorite fullback in the game is Cuadrado, and I love using him. So first of all, I want to go through, talk about some of these tactics, and I just want to say to all of you guys that have been watching my channel recently, I really appreciate all the support, guys, on all the videos. And if there's anything really you guys want to see gameplay related, we are thinking about doing a breakdown of like some of the flare goals, some of the power shot angles, some of the skills that I do. So if you want that, let me know in the comments because I've got one of my editors that I think I'm going to get all those clips together, and then we're going to kind of do a breakdown and tutorial and talk through some of that. We did it last year, but we're using a lot more things this year that we picked up. So yeah, if you want that, let me know. So first of all, the formation that I have been using the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've got 3 rank 1 finishes with, is the 4-3-2-1. Now, this is like known as one of the most broken formations this year. It really is. All the pros will tell you that it's super overpowered. And the reason it's overpowered is not because it's ratty defensively. It's ratty on the attack. Because with the 4-3-2-1, if you can play it well, it's not the easiest to play. You really need to kind of have that quick passing and quick reactions. You need to have skills in your gameplay too. It's very hard to use the formation without some skills. But what this formation does very well is that you have a left center mid that always makes an extra run, and you usually do have somebody open. So if you can use a couple skills, and if you can pass the ball well, usually you'll find yourself pretty open with some players, at least at some point. So the key to this formation is obviously I use forward runs. I think that's what makes this formation, in my opinion, really, really good. Now, I don't think everybody that plays 4-3-2-1 is using forward runs. I think a lot of people use direct passing. That seems to be a very popular tactic. I don't like that tactic. I think direct passing is really annoying. I think it makes the game feel a lot more drop back. Forward runs is really nice because your team is always kind of going forward and just you will have so many runs that you didn't even expect. You'll have your DM at some point making a run to get open. So I play 41 width. I play 62 depth. On the defensive style, I play balanced. Offensive, I play balanced. And then I have forward runs, and I've got width at 50, very even. 2 corners, 2 free kicks. I lose the ball a lot on corners, so 2 is good for me because a lot of the time I lose the ball in corners and then I have nobody back. So at least with this, I have a couple players that are at the halfway. So if I lose the ball, I'm okay. So the way it lines up, you can see we've got a striker with 5-star weak foot. We've got, ideally you'd want to use a player like Di Maria on the left forward side, but Jairzinho is just too good to put at center mid, and his weak foot is so good. So I do play him as a left forward. And then we've got Prime Ronaldinho at right forward, who's amazing on that right foot and super fast. You can tell the left center mid, Di Maria, is a player that can pass well, he can shoot well, he can skill, he can kind of do everything. You're looking to play that left center mid or that right center mid is that utility man that can go forward and also act as an attacker. So that's what we do have with Di Maria there. We've got Vieira as a DM. You want a player like Vieira. There's very few players like him this year at that DM spot. You're probably looking at like Vieira. Team of the year, Jude Bellingham is probably another really good one. You're looking for a player that's very, very, very defensive and very automatic, right? And Vieira gives you that because that's going to be your, really like your core of your team. So you want to make sure that's a player that can really, really, really secure you the battles in the midfield. And then Toni Kroos is a 5-star player. He's also a DM there, but at the same time, he can distribute well, and his passing is amazing. Mendy and Cuadrado as the fullbacks, both fullbacks that can overlap. And then you can see with the center backs, very quick and agile center backs. So tactics-wise, I've got my striker on stay central and stay forward. what this is going to do is it's always going to allow you to have that counter option. He's going to stay in the middle. He's going to keep the center backs occupied, and he's going to stay high. Now, Dino is on comeback on defense, and that's because it's this formation. The way it's set up is that I've got it defending as a 4-4-2 basically, because Di Maria is already going to be kind of tucked in as a left mid. Dino's going to drop back and give a block of 4, which is really important. He's going to be unbalanced everything else, and then Jairzinho is unbalanced everything else. I like leaving them unbalanced. Okay, Di Maria is unbalanced. He's also on everything kind of balanced, guys. I have him on cover wing because basically what that's going to do, and for a while I had get into the box for cross. You can do that as well. That's also cool. You can experiment with it. But I have him on cover wing because defensively, Jairzinho and Butra stay forward and Di Maria goes out to the left mid, right? Now, the two DMs are on the same exact instructions, which might surprise some of you guys, but they're both on stay back. They're both on cover center. This is going to give you that block of 2, which is really, really, really important. And then this is what's really interesting about the fullbacks, right? You've got Mendy on balanced and overlap, and you've got Cuadrado on stay back and overlap. So you can mess around with this. I just would recommend you could have stay back on both. You could have balance on both. Use overlap, because what happens is when you create attacks with Vieira and Cruz, right, who are on stay back by default, you've got Di Maria, you've got Jairzinho, you've got Butragueño, and you've got Dino with 2 fullbacks on overlap. So you are controlling the ball with the midfielders, and you've got 6 players going forward. So at some point, you've got an overload, right? You do have you're going to have a 3v2 advantage at some point. That's what makes the 4-3-2-1 so good, especially on attack, because if you have forward runs, you are going to have an advantage in numbers somewhere, and it's just going to be about you figuring out where that is on the pitch and taking advantage of it. But that's why this formation is just so freaking good. And I would just recommend, Mendy's obviously not the greatest attacking fullback, but he can do it enough. Cuadrado is sensational at that. I think this formation is really, really, really nice to have. And, I think obviously like Davies would be a little bit better probably than Mendy at that left back spot, but chemistry-wise, we've just got to use Mendy, and unfortunately we do not have the wild card. So this is a formation that I really, 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 really enjoy. Another formation that I wanted to talk to you guys about, a little bit more ratty, but really, really good to close out games, is the 4-2-3-1. I use it from time to time, not all the time, but it's a very good formation to kind of see out a game. If you're up 2 goals, maybe you're up against it a little bit. Look, I think in FIFA 23, the best way to actually win matches is keep attacking, keep going for goals. But some of you guys might want to hold on to a game a little bit more, possess the ball, maybe not rat it out, but just control the tempo of the match and wait for an attack with quick passing. So 4-2-3-1 has been so reliable over the years because you get these passing triangles when you're holding out the match, where you play to the center mid and then you play to the left mid. You always have the cam open for a quick 1-2 pass. So this is a great formation to use to close out a match. I don't really do too many tactics on it. I have stay back and cover center on both center mids, and then I have stay back on both fullbacks. I also have overlap on Cuadrado, which is not necessary. But if you're really trying to see out a game, I would just say put the cam on comeback, because what you'll end up doing is you'll have your back 4 on comeback, and then you have a triangle of players that are defending together in the middle, which is going to make people force you to break you down on the wing. And what you can do is you can actually defend with Jairzinho and Dino. Now, I would not put them on comeback. I think putting them on comeback is really bad, because I think when you put your left and your right mid in a 4-2-3-1 on comeback, you almost pin yourself to be stuck, and you end up like it's too defensive and you're just going to invite too much pressure. And that's what you want to kind of find that balance of, because you do not want to just let your opponent, get open and like just destroy you in that regard. So that's going to be something that you are going to want to consider in this 4-2-3-1, guys. But it's really good, and as you can see tactically, I still have it on forward runs, guys. I love forward runs this year. I think it's very good. I think it really helps everyone attack well. And then one other formation that I would really mention, but I'm going to be honest, guys, this formation is very hard. It's very hard to defend in. It's so hard this year to defend in the 4-1-2-2 narrow. I don't really know why, but there's just this one pass that's always open, and you're going to have to be careful of that. We'll talk about it in a minute. 65 depth, forward runs, balance. Look, this formation is really fun to play quick tempo FIFA and score a lot of goals. I've got stay forward on one of the strikers. You need to put comeback on defense on the cam in this formation, because the formation is still really messed up. And if you don't do this, it's going to be wide open, and at least with this, you'll defend more of like a diamond in the middle. So come back on the cam. Left center mid, get into the box for a cross. cover wing, right? Because if you do cover center, you're going to be way too central. Stay back on the right center, mid, cover center. You'll notice that's like a theme in my tactics, right? And I think that's really important that you have 2 center mids on stay back this year, so you can offer that extra defensive, like, level in the midfield. And then Vieira is also on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and then cover center. So that DM is always going to be on those instructions. I think cut passing lanes is good because I think instead of like just standing in the middle always, a lot of the time the DM then will start to like search and survey for certain passes. So I like that a lot. And then Mendy is on balanced, and then Cuadrado's on stay back. You can change it the other way, but I like having one fullback on balanced. So the flaw in this formation is really that when your opponent is attacking on the wing, there is a lot of space open between the center back and the right back in that pocket for an entry pass, because for some reason in the 4-1-2-2 narrow, you really have to manually move your left and right center mid into that passing lane, or that pass will be wide open and people will destroy you on the wing. So that's something you need to be aware of if you are playing this formation. And yeah, that's really the main 3 formations, guys, that this year I've been using. Right now I'm mainly using the 4-3-2-1 a lot. But in terms of like overall record and stuff, guys, I've been getting a lot of rank 1 finishes with the 4-3-2-1. So try it out. Let me know if you guys like it. And thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.